Hello Sagittarius, this is your December 2016 reading. I'm doing the whole month at once because it's going to get kind of busy here, so I didn't want to miss out on any pieces of time. For the main read, I'm using the Tarot of Moon Garden. It's an older, much older deck that I've had for a long time. It says paintings by Karen Marie Schweikart. I don't know if you can see that, just in case you like that deck. I've had this deck since I was a teenager. I'm not a teenager anymore, not even close. And for the advice cards, the Angel Therapy Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. I have a lot of her decks too, and I do like her decks, so I tend to use hers. As usual, already shuffled, so let's get right into it. Is that where we're going? Okay. We have an interesting spread here. I feel like we're going a little differently than usual. And I'm not sure why, but you know what? Let's go with it. Overall energy, but I do feel like this is the grounding energy too. I feel like you're kind of going through things, but you're kind of like, you're trying to keep, you try to keep moving forward, but you're trying to stay out of the main view of things. Not like you're trying to hide. I don't feel like you're hiding, but I feel like you're purposely just kind of going along, just not really causing waves, but not really hiding at the same time. But you want to keep things moving, but you don't really want to be in the front of everything. You want to just kind of relax, I guess. But I do feel like you're still, steady effort is kind of what I'm feeling. Yet not the star of the show. Yet not completely in the sidelines. You're still in the situation. You're just like not in the forefront of it. Okay. King of Swords. I feel like this is like a central part of this issue. I think whatever's going on in this time frame, we have a central part of this issue. And I feel like you're very good at what's going on. Swords are usually communication. But I feel like this is restraint. This is control. This is, you want to stay out of the main, but you don't want to be on the sidelines, and you're making sure you stay right in the level. Like if this is like being in the forefront and this is being completely out of the situation, you're right in the middle of everything, but you don't want to take control, but you are controlling how you maneuver through it. Like you're keeping your position where you want your position to be. I feel like you're in control of where you are in the situation. It's very interesting because I feel like you're talking and you're keeping things, like you're paying attention, you're keeping things under wraps. You're just making sure you don't get too involved, but you're making sure you're not out of the situation either. Okay. Interesting. I also feel like that's kind of limiting your communication too. I'm getting very much, this is a different read than usual, but this is how I feel like this is coming up. The Two of Swords makes me feel like you're limiting your communication, but you're very much in control of what you want to say. I feel like you're keeping some other people in the dark, though. I feel like you're purposely not saying things to certain people just because you don't want to be overly engaged in the situation, and you feel like the situation has enough people talking about it. It almost feels like it's unnecessary, but you're not letting people know how much you actually know. And you feel like either the information you know, the important parts are coming around anyway, or you just don't feel it's important for you to say. Okay. I feel like part of it you're just trying not to get involved with. Got another one coming out with that. I just feel like it's very patient. I don't feel like it's negative. I just feel like you're like, you know what, certain things I'm just going to keep to myself. I feel like some information you may be questioning, even though it may not be a question if it happened or not. You're questioning what actually made a situation happen, what caused the situation happen, and for that reason, you're kind of staying out of it. Sit. Sit. Go sit. Sit. She's like, nope. Yeah, sit down. Come on, sit. Chloe, sit. 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 Oh my God, I've been sitting with you for hours, sweetie. You're fine. Okay. I feel like you're doing a lot. This, I feel like, is really showing how much you're involved with the situation. And I do feel like there's a lot of pieces. I do feel like you're almost like you're overseeing a lot of what's happening. These cards, the Pentacles, it's a Pentacle. These are Pentacles. They look like bubbles. But I feel like they're different. I feel like these are very different spheres of influence. Excuse me. And I feel like you're kind of paying attention to what's going on, but you're purposely not getting too involved. It keeps coming back to that. Like, you don't want to be over-involved. Although emotionally, you're working on this. Like, I feel like, again, these are Pentacles. They look like bubbles. They are bubbles in this deck. It's a very older deck. It was a different time when I used to read these, and I very much like this deck. But I'm also getting, like, this is where your emotions are. You're looking to kind of, I almost feel like you want to change how you feel about the situation. You're just not really, you don't want to get over-involved. It keeps coming back to you don't want to get over-involved. Again, I'm getting boundaries. Boundaries. I feel like the card we have, even though it's the Empress and this is the, what is it, Nine of Pentacles, I feel like it's mirroring that same thought. Like, I feel like she's overseeing what's happening and she's just being careful. Like, whether you're male or female, I wouldn't get caught up in the gender of this card. Whoever you are, it feels like this is representative of you kind of watching. In some senses, no, I feel like this is you. You're watching. And you're paying attention, and you're kind of making sure things are working out, but you're just, certain things you feel like aren't necessary to be said. And I feel like you're questioning something about a situation that happened. Not that it actually happened. I don't feel like there's a question that it happened, but why did it happen? And you're, like, really questioning, why did this happen? Alright, are we gonna... I feel like that's what this is about this month. This is weird. I wasn't expecting this to come out this way. This is how this reading came out. It's really strange. I feel like there's a central issue that's going on through this month. I feel like the issue... I don't feel like the issue... Like, it's a certain situation... You're, like, looking at a situation or at people. How, like, it's like how people work in a situation. Something along that line. I don't feel like it's an event so much as, like, certain people aren't really working together the way you think they should. And you're questioning why certain things are happening here and there, and you're trying to find out what's the root cause. What is causing this? And I feel like this is what this month is about, and I feel like you purposely don't share certain information you know because you're kind of thinking this is just lending to the hysteria in a sense. And it's not like it's crazy hysteria, just in the sense of, like, rumors creating more rumors, people not realizing that they're fueling the fire just by, like, well, I heard from this one, and then that gets turned around and they tell someone else. Like, I feel like a situation is a little bit ridiculous in a sense. Like, it's just, it's not meant to be, but it's just like, the more people talk, the less it gets from the truth. And you're trying to get back to the root cause. You're trying to get back to, like, what actually happened. So you're not talking as much, but you're listening and being very careful to try to find out what caused the situation. Alright, so we got... Alright. I'm trying to get, like, a timeline of what's going to happen here, but... Alright, this guy always comes up differently. There's traditional meanings for him for me. I can't pick him up, can I? Yes, I can. It's the Hanged Man. He has different meanings depending on what's going on. I always read the cards based on what I'm getting off. I'm actually getting kind of like a little bit of stagnation. He's kind of hanging here, so I guess that would make sense for sometimes the way you read him. But right now I'm getting, like, there's not a lot of change, but there's a lot of, like he's caught in this trap, and he just, like, I feel like this is kind of representative of you. Like, you feel like something's not right here, and I don't understand why things are happening the way they are, and you want to know why. As the time frame goes forward, from not understanding why and getting kind of caught in, like, what is happening? I don't understand why these things are happening. I feel like you're taking action in the sense of, like, listening. I feel like you're listening, and you're more getting involved to find out what's happening. I feel like very careful communication. I feel like there's more listening than talking on your end. I feel like you really want to know what happened. and you're being very careful. I feel like you care about what's going on, and it may be, I feel like it's some type of social arena. A lot of you, I feel it's either, it's something you're working on. Like there's a project going on. There's something happening. So this can go in a few different areas, but I feel like there's a situation you're working on. I don't feel like there should be that much. If this is resonating for you, I don't think it's that much of a question what the situation actually is. I know they're general reads, so they relate to people very differently, and they're not always meant to resonate with everybody, but still, I feel like one of the reasons I'm not like touching on the ideas I'm having here, because I'm getting multiple ways it could hit, and it's like any arena where there's a social structure you're a part of, and I feel like you could be more in control than you currently are by choice. Like I feel like you're a driving force, and you can get things moving a little more if you wanted to. I feel like right now it's more like an investigative feel to it. Like, why is this happening? And it's just like you feel like it's all the answers are around you, but you're just not catching on. Like, why is this happening? I understand these things are happening, and we can't really dispute that happened and that happened and that happened, but why? Why are these things? This is weird. Something isn't right. Like you're saying, the way these things are happening, something's going on. Something else is going on that's causing this to happen, and you want to know what that is. And I feel like even at the end of the month, you're still like, you're not really sure, but I feel like you have a better idea. And I feel like you're feeling better about the situation. I think because you're thinking a lot of it is just made up stuff, not purposefully, but I think at the end of the month, you're kind of thinking a lot of things that were seemingly bad didn't really, like people are getting a little out of control, getting a little flustered, and things aren't exactly as bad as people think they are. Like I feel like when you're looking at this up here, I think you're like looking at the web that has been weaved, and you're just like, there's a little bit of ridiculousness. I feel like there's like at least one person who kind of caused some problems for themselves, problems for themselves, if I can spit it out. And I feel like you're kind of, another reason you're kind of holding back, at least at the end of the month, is because you kind of identified who caused their own problems, and you're just like, you know what, you kind of deserve that, and I don't really want to get involved with that anyway, so you know what, figure out your own mess, because you caused it. Yes, okay. Whew. That was a bit to get through. Is there anything else here? I feel like this is what December's about. So I'm resisting the rehash because I know everybody can go back in the video and rewatch what they would like to watch. But I think it's not really a bad month. I'm not feeling bad energy. I usually try not to connect too much with bad energy anyway, to be honest. But like, I'm not seeing like cranky fights and stuff like that. I did all 3 water signs one after another, and they had a certain card pop up in each one. So I couldn't say that for them. But for this one, I'm already getting the idea that like December is going to be a little bit hectic. I don't feel like it's that bad for you, although I do feel like you're taking a very sensible, controlled approach to make sure it's not. Good. All right, well, thank you for watching. I always love to read the comments. I'm getting better with keeping up with them. There was a bunch of them, and I just finally caught up after a couple weeks. I'm trying to keep up with them daily if I can. I can't really say it's going to keep happening. Who knows, it might go a week again. Sometimes I just get bombarded. Always like to see your comments, though. Of course, if you would like a read from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.